Hello, everyone. In the series of PowerShell videos that I'm going to cover today, I'm going to just cover 5 of these commands. So let's get started. And I want you to get your cup of coffee ready because over the next hour or so, I'm going to cover all these 5 commands or commandlets, which are PowerShell commandlets, but they are actually commands. And so you could call it commandlets as well. And then I'm hoping that you could have a cup of tea or coffee or a water, whatever you like to drink. And then I have my tea already. So I'm going to just share with you this video, which is going to be about get host commandlet, followed by read host, followed by write host, out host, and clear host. So this is video number 22 on get host through video number, video number 26, clear host is the last one. Each one of them I'm also going to post it as a separate, so you could see short videos. You don't have to pass by on whichever video I discuss, so you could see it, the one that you're interested the most at the time, because this is for college and for work and for need of students that are or developers that are just looking for a quick syntax, and then you can just watch a video and then get started. Again, this is a tutorial at MyWebUniversity, which is brought to you by myself, Wahid Lutfi. And I'm going to go to the next video, which is going to be tutorial number 22 on how to get the host. Get host is the commandlet, and then $host is the hash table or environment variable that is already assigned to get host. So for short, you can use the $get host also. I'm going to show you that as well. And then the next video that will be there is video number 23, and then this is going to be on how to read the host. So every time you want to read the environment from the variables or the data from the end user, you're just using the read host. So it is reading data from the console input. And then by default, it writes it to the screen back, but you can also write it to a variable so you can read it. And then the next one is write host. A write host is the one that you're writing to the console. And there's a lot of other commands that or within PowerShell that is doing output information or writing to the output file or something to the screen or display. We will cover all of them as we go through them. And so at this time, I'm going to discuss the write host video. So the next one is how to do the out host, and then how out host is also like a write host, is the command that you by default every command output is automatically displayed on the screen. So it is not formatting it and then it's writing it on the screen, and it you can do with flags. Occasionally, if you want to use the out host, you want to pass on with the flags, like you want to page it at a time or something. I'll show you that one as well. The last command that I'm going to cover tonight is how to on the clear host and the clear host command. So, and that one has 2 environment aliases and that you can use also. CLS is the DOS or disk operating system command that you normally use to clear the screen. Clear is also the Linux or PowerShell alias for clear host. So you can also create your own clear statement. So the first one that I told you I'm going to cover is the get host. And with that in mind, let's just get to the first one here. I'm going to go to a PowerShell session, and then Before I go to the PowerShell session, I want to show you some of the resources that are available for you. And then we will get to the get host command after this. So this is MyWebUniversity, my YouTube channel that you're welcome to watch. The most popular videos, there are a lot of them. And then you're welcome to watch them. Some of them are the entire course, 4 hours, like from zero to hero on Linux Red Hat version 9. Everybody on productions are up to 8.6, but I wanted to just give you the latest and greatest. Similarly for Rocky Linux version 9 and Advanced Linux and Solaris operating system and many other programming, shell scripting, Bash, Python, C, C++. So there's a lot of videos. And if I go to the videos under the home, you will see these pages, but I want to just take you to the one that is latest videos that I have posted, which is a lot more about PowerShell and Linux, Red Hat, and RPMs and Bash scripting and C, MySQL. But you're welcome to watch these series of PowerShell. At the current level at the Cmdlets, which is basically about 1757 commands, but I'm not going to cover each one of them one by one. I'll cover the most that you need, and then you need to discover from knowing that knowledge how to use it. And also on my website, I made some resources for you already available, like this book, The Direct Path to Linux Ubuntu. The entire book, I wrote it for you, so you can just take advantage of it. And as you're sitting in front of a Linux machine, Linux server, or Linux Ubuntu, you can learn all these 12 or 14 chapters one by one by exercising the practice, the examples and everything, as if you are just running a virtual machine of your own. So you can run the stuff, the commands and the examples and the videos either at my website, mywebuniversity.com, and see the output on your display at the browser, or just watch the entire video on YouTube. So everything is posted on this. Still, and then I thought that maybe you might need to get some documentation. So if you're looking for Linux documentation, this page gives you 32,000 PDF files and just on Linux, Red Hat, Linux Rocky, Linux Red Hat, Linux Ubuntu, and so many other ones, CentOS and Solaris operating system. Also, I have documentation on it on the same page. You can go there. C++ documentation I have. But for the Linux part, if you look at some of the documentation, I also have videos for them. And in addition, if you're looking for PowerShell stuff, you can just come in here, for example, to do PowerShell on Linux platform. And this video was posted a few days or a few weeks ago. But what you could do is also you could come up with documentation in general. So let's say you are on advanced level, you want to learn Linux PowerShell. For example, look at this one. 88 commands are all available for you, so you can click on it and practice them. Each one of them that if you want to just create a user documentation or something, user add or user mode, the whole documentation is there. If it does not require security, I let you run the command on my server. So like PS3 process stream 3, you can see for the $sign, it just shows my shell and then the process stream 3. But if you look for the system D, which is process ID 1, you can see it. You click on it, and then this was your command that you run, PS3 1. It ran on my Linux server, and here's the output, all of that information. Okay, so you're welcome to also just like some of those kind of advertise from Google, and it might help me also if you just use them. And if it benefits you, then definitely it should help you if you get something cheaper price there. So these are commands. For each of the rows, I have a video listed here. So there are 8 rows and there are 8 videos here you're welcome to watch them. And then addition videos for the different platforms, the different topic, I have it there. But notice that here on the documentation, I was telling you that I have further documentation. If you want to just go here on the Linux manual pages, I was telling you that I have Solaris, another platform. You can come in and just, they're sorted alphabetical for each platform. Like this is Open Solaris operating system. So if you click on S, then I sorted by S section. Similarly for Linux, CentOS, and other ones. But if you say, well, that's great, can you show me the PowerShell stuff? Because this video is about PowerShell. Yeah, I have this about 32,000 PDF file just on this page, all underscore PDF. And then if you go on the last row here, the Windows 11 PowerShell commandlet, you could just click on it and then you get about 1,757 PDF files here, all in one page. So the command that I was telling you today, we're going to cover is a get-host, for example. You can just say get host and then click on it, and then I generate it in a PDF file for you. I give full credit to MyWebUniversity, Python, PowerShell, commandlets, and then a free PDF and my own programming languages, skills that I just put them together for you in PDF format. And now you're not in front of a Windows machine, you're on a browser, you could just see the entire documentation here. Similarly, for example, if you want to say Control F and then search for get, let's say, read host. And so that is another command that I'm going to cover, that read host. Similarly, you see that a read host is there. And then you can see all the option and examples, everything. You can also open a console and practice it on your own time. So a lot of the commands that I'm going to do is are basically here. So the other one is was clear host. Clear host, and it clears your screen, right? So this is a very simple command, and it clears your screen, and then the output is there. The other one was write host. So all of these commands that I'm going to cover will be on their own section. So, and let's go back to, before I go back, actually, I have more resources at MyWebUniversity for Farsi, if you're speaking Farsi or Persian, and then I made some video for it. Unfortunately, a lot of people, they don't have internet access in Afghanistan, and it's really tough. And so in that sense, I couldn't help. But if you're a billionaire or millionaire and you're hearing me out, please help out those students and children that they are in need of internet access as well as education, so they can have a job in the future. 5 years from now, 10 years from now, they could all be software engineer and produce there. My job is to provide these kind of technical documentation and videos and teach them. And then your job as a millionaire or billionaire is to just have an institution or some library or some place that they all could go and they could have at least internet access for free, so they can watch these ones on a YouTube channel, and then as if they are sitting in front of a professor at a college, because I teach these kind of materials at the university level, and then I'm just thrilled to be helping them or mentoring them as well. So without further ado, let me just tell you the first one that I'm going to cover now. So the first one, what we were covering is Git host, this one. And from slide, this one is Git host, how to, and then let's just get started on this one, tutorial on how to use Git host, right? And this is over a cup of coffee or tea, as I told you. Let's get that one going. So the next thing I'm going to show you is share my screen here. Let me just clear the screen here and then say I'm on, if I just exit out of this one entirely and I just click on this one, PowerShell opens. So if I maximize it, normally it shows that the version of PowerShell that this one start, which is the latest and greatest PowerShell 7.4.2. and it is the current directory that gets installed is program files, PowerShell, and version 7. So if I do a dir here, you can see all the files on dynamic link libraries and directory store.exec. You can see the PowerShell and .exec file itself is up and running. So at this time, if I just want to run any commands, everything I want to practice, I want to get this screen a little bit smaller, and also I want to go to the directory where I write my scripts and demo stuff for you, so you can practice it with me if you practice it like that way. So I'm going to say cd and then c : demo program files. I'm going to I made it for short, and instead of PowerShell, I made it PS. Even though the prompt is saying PS, and then also the directory that I have is PowerShell, that is still good because it is short, and I have a number of PowerShell script here. The directory, when I do dir store.ps, it only lists all the PowerShell script. At this time, we're on the commandlets and not on the list of scripts to run, but we're at the level of video number 22. If you have watched my other videos, or maybe watch other developers or someone that who make videos on PowerShell, then most likely you're at the level that I can also demonstrate some of the scripts. And I need to get you started on writing script, because the fact that you learn these commands is you want to apply it for your job, and then you want to just apply that knowledge to write a script and do get your work done. So let's get started with a little bit of information here. I'm going to do a clear screen. Notice I type in the command clear screen, because the alias called clear, and then CLS is there. So I will cover that one at last of that one, because the video I wanted to cover today was get dash host was the command that I wanted to do. So when you do the get host dash host, by default it tells you this hash table. This is a hash table saying that the name is console host. So I could say, for example, this dot name, and then it's not going to give me, because it's not assigned as an object. But if I just do this one, use it as an object, saying run the get host, and then now I can do a name, then I'll get that information. And I could also say, let's say h is equal $h, $host, and uppercase. I'm going to just do that one for now. It doesn't matter if you do uppercase or lowercase. PowerShell is in case insensitive. So $host, h is pointing to the same environment variable that or the same hash table that the get host running. So whether I type in $h, I will get the same information. By clearing my screen here, I'm going to do $h, and I could say $h dot name is this time getting the information. However, when we did the when we did the host name, host dash name, $sign did not mean anything. Dot name did not mean anything, because that one you have to get it as an object. To get it as object, you have to do it like this. Then you just now have it as object. So I'm sorry, I missed the $sign. Not a host name. It was get host. Get host. So get host is going to do that one. It's very kind of confusing, because sometimes when whatever you want to use, you have to make sure that PowerShell, it makes it much clearer for you if you just use a verb followed by a noun. In this case, get dash host, get is the verb that you want to use, and then host is the noun. So you can also say, for example, get dash command dash verb and a verb, and then say show me all the verb that start with get, and then get dash command dash verb, not verb B. So the typo was there. So you can see that it's all the commands that are listed with get. You can get a big list of them. You can say measure, and then we see how many 454 of them just has the word get. And if you just say dash now, and then host is the variable, there are 5 of them. If you want to list them, you can say, show me the list that will just show you clear host, get host, out host, read host, write host. So the one that we are covering is the get host right now. And the next one will be covered on the video number 23. So about the get host, whenever you do a get host, you can just assign it to a variable, or you could say get host by itself without any argument. It will tell you the output here, right? So once you do this one, if you say, give me as an argument of this, now you have the information as an object. Get dash host becomes a hash table, and then the object allow you to assign the whole name or the version, whatever you see there, then you can get output of those variables. So 7.4.2, it shows you in a table. But if you wanted like this one to convert it to a string, then you can just do that one. It will just say exactly like it was right here. So some of these ones, the get host, for example, when you do the get host here, you can also later on when we get to the get dash member, for example, member is another object, not object, another commandlet that you can find for this object. What are the methods and attributes or properties? Properties, you can use the attribute or properties interchangeably, but method is like function. In function programming, you could call it function, and then in function programming, you could call it variable, but in object-oriented programming, a function is called method. Variable is called property or attributes. And then an object has basically has a lot of properties and some methods that you can use for that object. And usually the object-oriented programming, you have 4 paradigms of encapsulation, abstraction or data hiding, polymorphisms, and inheritance. And with all of those methods that depend on what method you want to use at what point, you're going to use one of those kind of paradigms of object-oriented. But let's say on this one, you're looking for the UI object for that, the UI property. So you could say UI, and then you get all the information here on the UI details here. And if you say, give me a format list of it, and then obviously the format list, you can shorten it. FL would be an alias for it, because alias FL is assigned to format list. Anything like if you do format table, let's say this one, format dash table, you could get that one, and then alias FT maybe is format table, yeah. So some of them you can create your own aliases. So last video we told you that get alias has a lot of them, L or gal or PS itself. It's going to process is showing alias itself is going to show you alias for it. So the nice thing about all of these ones are there. So get dash host. I also want to show you the variable called get host. I mean $ host. If you create a host H or anything, you could just point to that one. But host is now already in there. So if I exit out of this one and then come back here, and then just say Let me just go to, even if I don't go in any directory, I could say git host. You can see that there, $host is defined there also there. So if I say cd to current directory, and then I say get dash host, you can see that information. $host, it's gonna give you same information. So $host $host dot version would give you the version. Sorry, I have to type it correctly first. Okay, $version. And then $version dot build will give you the build version. If you just say, okay, $dot minor, then obviously it shows you 4. Similarly, for major, the version is 7, so it will just give you that. But if you want all of the version and then convert it to string, then you can just use the toString method. You can see that one. How do I know there's a toString method? Because a variable, strings, there are strings. So $sign host dot data type, like $sign dot type, the command type, maybe command type. Okay, so if you forgot that whether it was type or some command type or anything, you could say $sign host, and then you just say dot and press tab. Current culture, current user. One of those members are going to be the type or something, right? Equal. So you can, yeah, get type is the one that I was looking for. And if I just did not know that get type, and I did not know that dot, and then just do that one, I could also say like host name, not host name. Let's just do $sign host. You can also say get dash member. By doing that, get member, you can see one of the methods, and these are methods. One of them is get type. So if I just say the object name as an object, get host, and then dot get type, I could get the type of it to say what is it, overloading definitions. And then because the method, you have to type in the left parentheses, right parentheses. Now you get the actual type. The base type is this system management of this. And then on this one, get type dot. If there's any other field for it, you could just say dot member. This is kind of like a dot operator for object oriented. So you can get further information. You can see there's a lot of them, right? Nobody's going to memorize all of these ones, but the difference between a junior level and a senior level, a senior person usually knows some tools, some kind of commands, some kind of arrays and a hash table and programming skills that you have in terms of writing modules, writing functions. But when it comes to discovery, you use those tools to just come up with a solution and solve the problem that is at hand. You don't want to memorize thousands of commands. Just if I say get commands, get command, there's this many of them, right? So if I say a measure, how many are there? About 1,731 of them. But when I do the update help, obviously more modules has to be updated there. So with the get host, there's a lot of other read line and other ones. So let's say get dash help and get dash host and dash pool give you 4 information. 5 more, you can see it's get host, and then 5 more with everything. So this is just giving you like, even if you want to change the height and size of it. So the person that is wrote this documentation on this example assign get host to $h, and then runs $h.ui.raw. UI.win size, and then at this time it reads the size to win, and then win.height, because this attribute of this one, the property height, is he wants to assign it to 10. And the same thing with size of 10 1. So this one is get that 10 by 10 characters along of the window size. So you could, some attributes are writable, but some attributes are not writable. So these information like version, it is kind of tuple, read-only information, because it reads it from the system. So these information you cannot modify, but the information that allow you to write it because you want to change your window size, yeah, you're welcome to do those kind of information there. I'm not going to go through each one of these examples because, again, by knowing the right command and then knowing these examples, like let's say dash examples, not dash, you can see all the examples there. And then if you just are interested to see this one with detail, you can see also technical documentation on detail. So this is just giving you more detailed information with a lot of stuff. And if you say, show me this information with something like, for example, online, then you just don't need that 5 more because you're looking at online, and it opens a browser of default browser that you have, and get that shows, it's going to display. It gives you all the options and everything, examples. So you're very welcome to just look at that one if you're sitting in front of a PowerShell command prompt to just learn more. But if you're not in front of a PowerShell command prompt, I encourage you to go to my website and this documentation and just go on the PowerShell and then look for the commands that you're looking for and doing that one. Obviously, if you're on a iPhone or something, you can also do this one under this 3 dots, which is the menu. You can look for, I press Control F, but on the iPhone, you cannot press Control F. So in order for you to do this one, you have to go here, says find on this page. Somewhere here says find on this page, and then you just click on it. It should be somewhere here, find on this page, like find and edit, and then on your iPhone, actually, you could do this one. And when you go under the dots on the Chrome, then you say find on this page and then search for the string. Here, you can also do a Control F because I'm on a desktop, and then search for the command that I'm looking for. And then once I look for it, I find it, and then I open it, and then I start reading it. Okay, so that's for the right host and other ones. You can also do this one, and instead of this, say that open show window. Show window. This same command, you can just run the dash show window. It will just open in a window, a nice window here. So you can see this one on one side and this one on the other side, and then look for whatever command you want to do. And if you search for, let's say, examples, then you could just see that the example gets highlighted, and then you can even cut and paste a portion of the command and then run it. For example, if you want to practice this one, you can do this, the whole thing. You could copy it and then set it up to PowerShell. If you're doing it here, you could do it, you could put it into a script, or you could just open a new terminal and then do it there, or close it, or just go on the command line and just run IC. When Windows 11 comes in, normally it is getting the IC integrated as scripting environment. So this is by default, it opens up, and then you run the command here, get host, and then just run it, and then you get the output on this screen here. And if you are just doing anything from the show command, you can just cut and paste and practice it that way. So I want to get to the next video, which is, let me see what was the next one. The next one was, I'm going to go from current one here, from current slide. So we just covered get host, and then $host is by default an environment variable. You can also get it through $host, as well as assign it to another variable, or $env $host, and then you can get that one. But this one, standalone $host will also give you this one. So we covered that one. Let's go to the next video, which is read host. On this video, I'm going to cover read host to show you. It's going to be video number 23, and we're going to do it through a cup of tea or coffee, whatever, water, anything that you like to drink, and then that would be your preferences. Mine is usually coffee, or usually tea. Green tea is my favorite one, and sometimes I do black tea also, just to help myself with it. So I'm going to close this one, and then I'm going to resize this one, and then I'm going to clear my screen here. And then the next command that I want to show you is read host. So if I go to, for example, this directory here again, and then I say directory clear screen directory start.ps1, I just wrote a couple of write and for each statement of the script, but I'm going to demo that one at the end of it, maybe at the end of the read host, or end of the write host. So we will just show you. Read host is to read command or output. I'm sorry, input from the user. So what you're reading? You're reading about 890 characters long. So if I say get dash help and read dash host and dash examples, and then 5 more, you can see that it is one screen at a time. It shows me, and that it's going to read a environment variable, like a data from input from the console, and assign it to a variable. If I want to just assign it to a variable, you can do many things with the read, and then they are giving you a lot of examples here. But what I want to do is that they say read dash host, and then notice if I just don't do anything, I could say prompt, and then say please enter your name, right? So if I just do that one and then press it, notice that there's a colon already added by the system, please enter your name. That was my string. I did not have a colon, but it is added there. So I write it Wahidullah, and it's going to say Wahidullah. And if I just run the same thing and say Wahid Lutfi, space, and then my last name, it is going to take the full name as the same string. But then if I just say, okay, put a colon here, and then notice that now you have 2 colons, which is not good. So you don't want to do add formatted string, because the read host automatically formatted. And if I just don't do the prompt, by default that parameters is positional parameter, it is assumed. So I type in Wahid, and it's going to do that. Now, if I want to assign that one to a variable, say $name, $name is equal, and then I read this one. Now I write it, say Wahid Lutfi. Notice that all I get is just that input was read. But now if I say echo $name, then it says, oh, the string, or just run the name itself, $name will just say this. And $name, and then now if we see get dash member, you notice this is a string, and it has a lot of method associated there. So type of this one is system.string. And that means that the data that was read, a lot of method, I can copy stuff to it, compare it, convert it and split it. There's so many things, index of it, and to lower, to uppercase, all of those ones are there. So like, for example, the to lower or to upper or to byte, everything you can convert it. Let's say you say $name dot to lower. Since it's a method, you just say change it to lower. to upper, now it's going to change it to uppercase. So anything that you are having that member for, then you can assign to that one. And if you say $name dot, now get the length of it is Wahid Lutfi is 11 characters long. So anything with this dot operator, when we get to the data type, I'll cover a lot of it. And you can clone it to just put it into another variable or compare to some string. And then contains, whether it has certain words. If we just say contains Wahid, let's say, then you can just say that is going to come false, even though it has Wahid, but because we are looking for certain words on it, maybe we look at exact one character. Even one character is showing that it's not there. By default, it should have been there. But if I just say to a lower first and then contains, and maybe it's gonna find it, yeah. So the fact that it was already changing the $name, even though the $name was by itself is showing, notice that it is Wahid was in uppercase. So when you do a comparison, then unless you convert it to lowercase and then match it with this lowercase, it will not find it. So the way you do it is if you want to do contains, you have to type in uppercase Wahid, and that will say, yeah, true. Because this case, by default, $name was capitalizing the first two characters, first name and then last name part of it. And so if I just do this one, Lutfi, then it's going to still say true because it's matching both. But if I just type in one character that's not true about it, then it says false. So you get the idea of $sign to that one. So now with the name, I could say another message, say, for example, write host. Later on, you could say, for example, hello, $name. And then you could write any message that you want to write and say, hello, $name, Wahid name. And then you could say, for example, change it to lowercase, and then just do that one. And notice that name dot $, because I put it within this one, it's not going to do that one. I have to write the function outside of it, and now it does that work. So make sure that whenever you write host, certain things that you're doing on the conversion has to work the way it works. And then when it comes to putting inside the prompt, then you can just add or remove. And I'll show you those things at the scripting when we get to the scripting also. So we read a variable, assign it to the name. Another thing that you could do with read the statement is that if you just say, let's say $, I'm going to call it secret, and then I'm going to say is equal, and then we're going to say read dash host, and then dash as secret string. We're going to read a string as a secret string, and I say, please enter your password. So, and the person is going to be prompted for a password, right? And then I'm going to just say my password is, let's say, I'm going to say test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just 9 characters. Test 1, 2, 3, 5. But notice that it did not do anything on it. It just read that one, and then it put these asterisks in replacing the characters. So that asterisk, or just kind of like hiding your password information. On Linux and other ones, you could do set echo off or do the encryption, reading the data and everything. But this is very, very powerful. Honestly, PowerShell is way, way more robust and more secure, more in terms of kind of like options that you can do as a developers to script in an environment. There are so many tools and things that modules available on PowerShell that is not available on Bash. So if you want to do the equivalent to PowerShell, you have to do Python in Linux. PowerShell is also provided on Linux now that I showed you on Linux Ubuntu. So with PowerShell, you can have the entire Linux also available to you, whether you're writing C, C++, Oracle, MySQL, Perl, Python, everything inside the PowerShell. You can make a call for it and just use the API or system commands level. So in this one, please enter your password. Now I type it in. This time I'm going to look at it because I assign it to a secret word. So if I say $secret, secret, then you can see that it is a system.security.string security type. So get type or get hash, if I say it's going to give me the hash code. So let's say get type, I could get the type of it, and it says it's a secure string. The base type is system.object. So it's an object that now secret has a lot of members and a lot of, a lot of methods and attributes or properties. So secret dot get dash member. Notice that in the list of members, I can clear this string. By default, when you do the password that I type in here, this one is stored inside the system.security.secure string and RAM of PowerShell. So PowerShell knows where to keep this data in RAM for the objects. And then when you're out of this session, this data is lost. But at this time, you also have a method that you can clear it or dispose it or set a string, a character at some location, or convert it to a string, or doing it. Converting to a string does not mean that you could get that data as text or reading it as text, because it's still the same thing. So if I just say $secret dot to a string, notice that even though it just gave you that, it's not going to assign anything. So if I say now just $x is equal, change it that one. Now I say $x dot get type. You can see that is also system.object, but this one is converted to a string. Now I converted to a string. But notice that if I say $x, it's going to just tell me the same thing. I cannot read the content of it. So $x dot length is the same 28 characters. Now notice that this is 28 characters versus $x secret dot length, which is the 9 characters, because I assigned test 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So you can see that this x is actually dot length. And so if I want to just get some more information out of that one, I can convert it to other data type and other kind of format and just get more out of that x. But I still will not be able to know your password or something. So if I just say $x dot clear, notice that that one is not a secret kind of information, right? That's not the same kind of method. So the clear method was not on a string defined, but on the secret it is defined. Now I just cleared it. Now if I say run the length of that secret, it's going to say 0 byte. So some of the methods that are here, you can just create it. If I just do the same thing and then I say secret secret, let me play around a little bit with it. So you could say $secret is equal $x. $x is just going to be same thing as data type of $x. So $x dot data type, and then this is exactly data. I'm sorry. Dot get type. See, the wording is sometimes get type, and then $secret dot get type. They're both similar type of a string. And then if I say $x dot length is that 28 character, this one also, as well as the secret, right? So now notice that secret is also 28 characters, but let's convert one of them back to the secret, see what we are gonna get. So in order to convert it, again, this is behind this session, but I'm going to just, since I'm there, I wanna just prove you something that when it is secret string, it is secret versus you cannot just take advantage of it by just convert it to a string and then convert it back to read the data. So if I say $x, it is this, and then $x. I'm gonna say convert, and then there's a lot of convert methods. The one that we say convert from string there, you can just say, well, what we want to convert it from secure string. It's not a secure string. So if I just assign it to, let's just do first another thing. I'm gonna say $secret is equal. I'm gonna say read host this one, enter your password. I'm gonna say test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're gonna do the same test. Now, $6, $x is equal, I'm gonna say $secret. Okay, and then convert from a secure string. So what we are doing on this statement, $secret, we already have it as a secure string. What I want to just convert it from that and then assign the value to x, and then see what we have on there. So $x dot length is 492, and then $secret is only 9 characters, right? So now $x, if I just because I converted it, I could just say, just show me. It is going to show you like in a hash key kind of syntax all the information. So we were not able to just convert it to test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's what I was going to say. But on other videos, I'm going to cover a lot more for that one. So this one was just a quick thing that you could read the data from the prompt, and then assign it to a variable and then use it. So let me just go to this directory and show you a few examples here. The next video that I'm going to cover is write. So before we get to the write, let me give you one example of this PowerShell script here, and then we could just show you. So if I say cat or concatenation, read, write, that one without number 1. This one will just show the content of that file. Basically, it is this. I want to show you this one in an integrated standard environment. It's much cleaner because the GUI interface is going to show you better. So this is the one I'm going to clean up here and then say clear host. So last time I showed you that command clear host, you can do clear host and then it will just clear your screen, which is already done. And then I'm gonna resize this one about halfway. And then instead of this one, I'm gonna open a file from here to run the PowerShell examples. So I'm gonna say file, and the one that I wanna open is this one. Let's see, file. I'm going to go to open. I have to go to a directory on the C drive, which is C drive, and then demo, programs, and then PowerShell, this one. And then since I had renamed it, the other one, it was not reading the PowerShell to PS. We can make a symlink or make the directory to show PowerShell. And right here, this one is, I'm going to say open. Now that the file is open, notice on this script, and when I told you that I'm going to show you a number of things in addition to just the command. So here I'm going to read a host, and by prompting it, please enter this one, and then some assignment of variable. We haven't learned how to assign variable, but this one quickly tell you. Basically, this is the value, and the left side is the variable name, and you declare the variable with $ symbol, and when you use it, you can use $, and if it has uppercase, lowercase kind of combination, you can use the different options there. Okay, so read host prompt, and then it's going to prompt it. This 1 through color range is that an array as between range of 1 to 15, and then foreground is assigned foreground, and then you could just do this one. Looks like this is not the script that I want to show you, but I need to do a little bit modification. So if you just run this one, I believe this is not the script. Let me just correct it. I could correct it, but I already corrected it. And so the option that we are running it in terms of colors, the right host is not the video. We are not there yet. So I'm going to just leave this one and just open the other one, and that it is already good for you. Okay, so let me just say open, and then I'm going to open this one. So this one is a little bit modified compared to the other one that I told you. And then this one has my name information. So you can use a comment section with a pound, but if you want to do multi-line like this, and you don't want it to read it, you can put it with between less than sign and the greater sign. And then here I'm just saying that program name, whether it was the name of the program and the author, and then my YouTube channel. So you're welcome to subscribe at MyWebUniversity YouTube channel, and if you haven't done so, or the Farsi channel, or go to the website, and then if you're looking for the PDF documentation in PowerShell, this is the link for you. So in this variable, I'm reading a host from the host console. I'm reading input that the user is providing the full name. And then greeting is the message hello, and then the second message that we want to display is welcome to my YouTube channel. This is abbreviation for YouTube channel, and youtube.com at MyWebUniversity. And then this is an array of between 1 to 15, because PowerShell supports 15 different colors, and that when you do a write statement, you can do a foreground option and a background option, and you can just run them in parallel to just do this one. So then if I just have a different color, sometimes I don't want to write on the same color. So when you run this script, actually, if I run it, you will see the output of the information. So this one is basically asking me some data. Let me just move it up to here. So it's asking you the full name. I say Wahid Lutfi, and then I just type it in. Notice that it actually did the work. So if I just move this one, it will just display between 1 and 15. So this is a statement. Every time that it writes the data, it writes the data. I have to get it in this one. So it writes the data with the color number. So the color is, all of this data is, noticed is written in white. But then I want to just run the information and the message that I want to display in the color that I want to do it on the foreground or background. Notice this foreground color, and then background color. So sometimes if this color was blue on blue, I just have to do an else for to make sure that the background on the first one is white. Notice the background on the first one for color one is white. So then when it is not equal to one, then it's gonna just do other colors, which is gonna take the blue background. But when it is color of blue, because the foreground is blue, blue on white is gonna display on number one. That would be this statement. So it's some trick that you have to do with the scripting. That's why you have if statement and for each statement. I'm going through the loop on the color range. Color range is 1 through 15. So that option is there for the right. And before I continue on further, let me just go back to the PowerShell. I'm going to just say this is a read host. We did this one, and then we're done with read host now. We're gonna jump into write host. Write host is just to whatever you want to write to the console. The write host is basically allowing you to write output, formatted output, not just host. Out host is just going to display information, and sometimes you could write the out host with some kind of parameters to just do one page at a time or something. But write host is that whenever you want to use formatted output to the console, and maybe you could change the color of the foreground or background or something else, then you could just use the write host. Most people, they say, why would I have to write host? Write host is equivalent to like a print statement or echo statement or a printf statement. A lot of the programming languages, they allow you write line, write statement. So write host is allowing you to do that one with parameters here, okay? So we're on the write host now. I'm going to just give you a kind of like quick review of write host here. Let me just move this one up. So if I clear my host here and say clear host, and then I could say get dash help write host dash examples, and then pipe more, one page at a time. You can see that because I'm on this one, it is a prompt you with this scroll bar. You don't need to do a pipe more. You could just do that one and get to the top of it. But if you're on this one, obviously, and that command would be useful because this is a console. So get dash help, write dash host, and then write dash host dash example, and then pipe more. This would give you a thing. So pipe more is just a command on the Linux. Like for example, if I say dir and then send a file, say test and .text. More is also test.txt. I could read the content of it that way, or get dash content test.txt would do the same thing. Cat test.txt would do the same thing. But why am I showing you this one? The reason is this, that if I say alias more, more is not the alias, okay? So get dash command more, it is more is a command, more.com is a application, it's a binary. So get dash command dash and let's say dash command type, and then I say show me all the application. There's a lot of them, right? But if I'm just only looking for the more, then obviously I have to select that command type. So you can do also pipe find string and then say search for more. And then if that is the command that you're looking for, is like earlier when I said git dash command more, it would give you that information. And then similarly, the more is that more.com is executable, right? So you can see it's Windows. This is the directory where all the executable files under System 32 are. So directory of C colon Windows and then System 32 / store.com, usually in programs or .com or .exec. If there's a .com for a file in Windows, and then also there are .exec, the .com run first. The .exec run second with the same name, and .bash run third. So more, you can see that chcopy and then format and mod and more and 3 commands. So 3 is a very useful command that will give you a system tree, and format, obviously formatted, and mode to change the mode of it, change copy and everything. So, and on any of these ones, you could you also use get help, and then more. So you can see that the syntax of this one is there. At this time, because more was actually a command, so it ran the 2 of them together. But get help, let's say format. You can see that everything about the format stuff or showing there. That's not good because what we want to do is get dash help, and let's say get dash command like that. It will show you about that command, not about the format list. So maybe Microsoft could look at that one further. So on this one, if you look at the when we are looking for more, I wanted to show you also with the out host, and we're going to cover one more video here. Right host was this one. The next one was, let me just see what is the next one after this. Right host, and then the next one is out host. So out host and then clear host. So I'm going to cover these 3 in a row with these scripts, and then I will just show you. So if you do get dash alias, for example, you can see that it is a lot of them, right? So if I say get dash alias and then do measure, and then see only by line numbers, how many lines are there? You can see 158 of them, right? And if you just don't give any parameters, it will give you the count of 158 for the lines by default. And then if you can do dash W for word, and so that's measure, dash C for character, and so on. So this time I did get dash alias. Why am I showing you this? Because you could say do a more on it, right? 158 of them. So now notice that I'm inside this one. That will not more does not mean anything if you're on the console, because on that one it does not mean anything because the IDE allow you to go up and down. So everything is here. You don't need to type in more. But if you're inside the PowerShell command line scripting on the console, you could say get dash alias and then 5 more. Now you're getting 1 page at a time here. So this is one way that you could do it. Another way is that you do get alias, and then you say the argument that you're passing on as right. So out host. Out host by default is for every command. Whether I type in get alias or say colon out host, this is assumed because it did not do anything. Even if I don't type it, out host is saying that write the get alias output onto the console. But if I just want to do 1 page at a time, then I say paging. And then now you can see 1 page at a time. It waits for me, and then I could use a space bar to go 1 page at a time, or just press enter. Every time I press enter, 1 line at a time. And then if I just go all the way to the end, I could do that one by space bar like that, and then space bar, or Q for quit. So you can just see that you stop it there. But we're covering right now the right host. So get dash help right host. You can see that it is going to give you a lot of it in dash example. It gives you a lot of the examples also. So what does a right host do? Right host, by default, when you're writing to the console, some formatted input or some not formatted input, and whatever you want to write to the host, you could say enter your name. So this is just saying enter your name. And if you say dash prompt, it is still did not understand it because this is not read the statement. So that enter, this one is basically writing to the screen, and versus read host, which was having the default as dash prompt. So if I say write host and say this is it, it will write this one like that, right? So I'm gonna just open another tab, or maybe just click on this one and just say write host. And then at this time, if I just say this is first line, okay? So I just ran this statement. It's gonna just say this is first line. This is when I run it, it's gonna say this is first line. Now let's do the clear host. I'm gonna do clear host. Every time I run it, I want to clear host first, and then that way my screen is empty, clear. So I did that one. This is first line, and then now if I say write host, this is second line. So every time you do, and this one by default is gonna just write a new line character at the end of it, and it's going to just start on a new line character, the second one, right? If I just don't want to have that new line characters, then I could just use the parameter no new line. Now the both of those lines are written next to each other. You can see it. Now I have to have a space here, right? So if I just put a space here, I could do a space right here, or put a space right after that one. It will just do it correctly. Okay, so that is usually you don't want to do it on the new line. You want to just do it on this one, and so that way you can format it the way you want to do it. Okay, so this is like one parameter. But then this parameter that you could also do, like if you want to just change this one, the foreground color, you say dash foreground color, and then you say white, and then dash background color black. So if black and white, those colors are recognized, it will just do it. But notice that right here, that one is black, is kind of like not as obvious seen. So I'm gonna just change this one to green, maybe green, because blue on black on blue is kind of like not as better seen. But maybe when we change it to this, now you can see this is the second line that is green on black. It's much easier to read. So if you change this one to green, and then this one to black, but no, this one to I want to do the background to green and the foreground to black. You can see that now it's that information. Notice that I did cut it. If I want to get it the whole information here, then you have to just say this, and then move this right host all in one line, right? And then say, and this is it, and this is second line. I mean, in this case, it's not a second line, it's all in one line. and you could just write it, say, this is a long string. So you could just write something like that, and then it will do that format. And then again, if you want to just write these string into an array, so you can get the foreground color on this one, you can also do it at the console here. You don't have to do it there. You could just say clear a screen here. Let's just do it on this other screen because it's much wider here. I can show you this. So I could say, for example, for each, and then I'm going to just say between those colors, actually $now, meaning that I'm going to just get into the array 1 through 15 and write host, a background dark blue, and then foreground $now. And then you could just write that host, and then it will just do that. So if you just say, for example, hello world, and then here, and instead of dark blue, notice that this one is blue on blue, because this is blue on blue. It does not make sense because we're starting with one, which is blue, and then on blue of background. So if I change this one to, let's say, white color, somewhere else might not make sense to do that one. You can see that right here, the 15 is white on white or something, or this color. So it's not easier to do that one. To do that one, let me show you a trick that, so these are between 1 to 15 colors that recognizes as foreground and background. So the way I do that one is through the scripts here. And then I just say, okay, if I just have the color range, I define the color range between 115 for color and color range. Now you can see here, if color is less than 16, that does not make sense. Let me just go to, obviously, and the one that I want to show you is this one, color 1 to 15. And then if color is not equal 1, and then you just run it. And if it is equal 1, then you just change the color to background white and the foreground to color. Everything else, you just do it with the dash background. So if I just run this script and then say, go ahead, run it, and notice it's going to ask me for input. I'm going to just go here, say, write the name as Wahid, for example. And then you can see that it wrote, hello, Wahid. Welcome to my YouTube channel at youtube.com at MyWebUniversity. So this one, for starting one, notice that I'm getting the information from whatever color I'm passing on to the for each statement on $, num or $color. Then I just put that color, and then the greeting, the message, and then new line. And then, so notice that this one and the new line, because I'm separating it, I'm only formatting this part of the message, the welcome part. And then based on whatever information it is there, I'm formatting it between line 1. Notice on line 1, the color, I put the background white and then the foreground blue. So it's not blue on blue. Everything else is blue background. Then that's how you just make sure from color 1 through color 15 that are defined to do it. But notice that this part I did not translate it. So for that one, I'm going to open another script, which is going to do the same thing, but do the entire thing. So example 2, I believe it is example 2. And then on the example 2, I'm going to show you this example 2. Let me just open it. So example 2 is this script, and then I'm going to just run it. But these variables are defined similar, and then the only additional is clear host, and also the part that on the example 1 that we were doing the no new line on each one of them. Example 2 is shorter, but it is much sweeter. because we want to change everything. Like on the output of this one, when we were running the output of the other one, we were seeing the screen a lot like different. So now let's look at this one. For each, and when we run this script, we're going to have a finalized, and let's just click on run. So it's going to ask me for give my name. I'm going to say again Wahid. Notice that as soon as I press enter, it's going to run the clear host, and then it's going to go through the colors, and then it's going to give me a nice screen there compared to the before one. So you can see here from line 1, clear host does it, and then for each of the color and color range. Now notice that the color also the number is associated with the color that I want to run the foreground. The background color is basically always blue, except the first one that is white. So that is the difference here, and then everything else is written in a nice way. And I'm welcoming you to MyWebUniversity, my YouTube channel. You're gonna learn a lot of stuff, and then you're gonna help yourself. And then when you learn it, please help others as much as you do. I would really appreciate it to help on the society and help on the community that you live in. We need to just do good for others. And the next command, like I was showing you, the clear host. Clear host is not much to cover on it. It is basically just clearing the host. And then there's a number of commands associated with it. So the right host is also, we covered the right host. Let me just make sure that I cover that one also. Clear host, before clear host was outhost. Outhost is similar to writing it, except that, for example, when you write get dash services, right? You service, get service, you get a list of them, and get dash PS. A PS for process, or get dash processes. Process, you run all of those ones. You could do out dash host, or not do outpost. It will still do the same output. But when you do outpost, do dash paging. That paging is going to stop one page at a time. And then on this one, because we are inside the IC, again, it does not make sense, but inside here, you could do that one. So let's say PS, it's there, and then you say PS, and then out dash host. And then if you don't do anything, it's like out host. But if you say dash paging, then it's gonna do one page at a time, which I showed you earlier. You could do that one. And the clear screen is the same thing, get dash service. So if I just do that one, the clear CLS is also short. Alias CLS is there, alias clear is there. And then all of them are using the clear host. I'm gonna also show you one more bonus command is get dash history. Get dash history is a list of commands that you did, and then all the commands you can run the history or something. But when you do a get history, and if you just want to say do out dash host and dash paging, it will stop one page at a time. And notice that if you do get dash host outpost, and then you could just say press tab, and tab, it's give you paging. The page verbose, and then debug, error action, warning action. A lot of this information are on common variables or common parameters. They're all available to you. Okay. So the clear command is your friend to clear screen. Host name. Also, the host name is going to give you what operating system host name you're using it. And so system info, and then find a string /i, let's say OS name. All the DOS command and PowerShell command are interchangeably. You can use them when you're inside PowerShell. You don't have to get out to command prompt. You can do that one here. And similarly, if you do, for example, this, and then say more, you can see one page at a time and get through the information. If you say this one and out dash host dash paging, you could do that one. So, and if you just say, yeah, that's good, you quit out of it and clear my screen and clear it and there. Df dash h is not a command, and then get dash host. Sometimes I'm thinking that I'm still on the Linux machine because PowerShell runs on Linux as well. Okay, so this is cool, and then you can do that one. I'm gonna end the video here. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something out of it. Please join our channel and subscribe, and then make some nice comments and share your knowledge. By sharing, you care. Share your knowledge and add some comments and share it with our videos with other friends. If you give it a thumbs up or like, I would really appreciate it. Take care. Bye-bye.